arrested and so on. So any lover of human rights in this our country, any lover of peace, should be behind the quest to see that we clip the wings of this military court. It should cease to operate the way it does. Olunaku olwaleero mu nsi yonna tujjukira ekiyitibwa International Human Rights Day, kubanga UN General Assembly yagazetinga olunaku luno. Kitegeeza nti Human Rights Day kubanga ate eddembe ly'abannaffe abamu lityoboolebwa, eddembe lya Dr. Kizza Besigye, Haji Obed Kamulegeya ne bannayuganda abalala abazze batulugunyizibwa kkooti eno. Kirungi nti ffe nga ab'opposition tuzze katutandise okukwatira awamu ku nsonga zino netugamba nti bwemuna tulugunya omu ku ffe ffenna kijja tukwatako, kubanga kyekize kitubeerako ffenna abawagizi ffe nga NUP bazze batulugunyizibwa kkooti eno ne bannayuganda abalala. Era nga tukuba omulanga eri bannayuganda tebataka kubeera opposition n'aba NRM namwe bajja batulugunya olunaku lwomwe lujja kutuuka mumutasitukiremu ne mugaa nti eddembe ly'abannansi lirina okuteekebwa mu nkola era kutwalibwa ng'ekikulu. Mwebale nnyo.
Well, let me first thank the defense lawyers for standing firm and together to ensure that our colleagues, Honorable Dr. Kizza Besigye and Haji Obed Kamulegeya, have their rights to choose who represents them stands. I think today the statement the defense has made is good, and all peace-loving Ugandans, all Ugandans who want to see the rule of law, need to understand that 2001, when General Museveni had an electoral case in court, he was represented by Kaminwa. Kaminwa is a Kenyan. He had 100 lawyers on his team as president. 2 weeks ago, I saw a panel of leaders of East Africa, presidents. General Museveni was one of those. He's fond of talking about integration. I saw him doing analysis of what has caused weakness on this continent, and he was referring to the chiefs of the fast, which he does all the time. For East Africa to be united, for Africa to be united, leadership at the top is very, very critical. You walk the talk. You don't say all the nice things, and your actions contradict what you talk about in public. There's absolutely no reason why, when Dr. Kizza Besigye and Haji Obed Kamulegeya choose to have Honorable Martha Karua to be the lead counsel, and it becomes a problem. I absolutely don't see any reason why. Every cloud has a silver lining. Our colleagues now are going to be in prison maybe for the next, now by 7th of January, it could have been like 2 months. Of course, they're going through a lot of pain. The silver lining in that you stood firm, keeps on exposing this government to masquerade in life is not good. When you are masquerading, the longer a process takes, the more your real colors come out, because people see contradiction between theory, what you talk about, and practice, what you do. So much as the two colleagues are going to suffer, it's good that time keeps on exposing these people in government. My advice, those who are in government, many of whom are colleagues because we serve together, no government is permanent. All of them leave power at some point. So I keep repeating what I keep raising all the time. When you arrest a retired officer, Major Iduri,
Yes.
Iduri, he served honorably in the military. He retired. He has a right to represent whoever contracts him to represent him. You go and abduct him. I would like to ask all the officers who are in uniform, including the generals at the top, what do you think? When you honorably serve, many of them have been shot at, many of them have been wounded. They have continued serving this country because many of them love to see justice, love to see peace, love to see a country which is developing. But when you have served and you have left, your own colleagues who are still in uniform come and treat you the way they treated that major. I don't even know him, I've never interacted with him. What does that mean to you who are still in uniform? What does that mean? That you make sacrifices for a country. That even when you get out of uniform, you have got rights like any other individual. You don't have to be on the side of the regime. You do whatever you want to do. That's the country we want to see. My advice, those who are in government, be sure that as day follows night, there's going to be a day when you won't be in those offices. I appeal to you, do things now when you are still in government that will enable you to leave uniform and offices, ministries, whatever, so that you can find a country where there is justice. Whatever you are doing, that you have got rights and freedoms that are going to be protected by the law, not by any individual. Not by any individual. We thank you, members of the press.
Thank you.
Right is might. That's what many people don't understand. Right is might. So the Ugandans who are terrified and they keep on withdrawing and say, oh, things are dragging on, things are dragging on. This is our country. This is our country. The only way we can shape the future to be as we desire it to be is to keep firm, including those who are in government. And to it's unfortunate this happened in a neighboring country, Kenya, which we have all always felt secure in. What they did now, imagine, exemplifies what happened more than 30 years ago. That's the last time a senior politician was abducted from Kenya. That was the late Mzee Barakiria in Nairobi. That was the second UPC government. When they abducted him from Nairobi, we know, those of us who were in the bush by that time, all our external committees scattered. They ran out of Nairobi and they went to Sweden. They need to ask themselves, really, you want the same thing to happen 30 years thereafter? Finally, I see the law of cumulative effect unfolding. So we should not lose heart. Even those who are in Syria for 50 years never thought that Assad and his family will never get out of power. 1 week is nowhere to be seen. That's what the law of cumulative effect does. Those who are in government need to understand how it operates. Those who understand how it operates, I suspect will sober up. May God bless you.
Before she takes over, what about retired Major Iduri? There's something very interesting. Something small about Iduri.
In the wee hours of this morning, as the defense team, which was burning the midnight candle to represent Rutaya and Besigye, finalized plans to come here and do a robust defense work, some criminals from UPDF abducted retired Major Ronald Iduri from his home in Werenga and disappeared him with the sole purpose of frustrating the defense team of Besigye and Rutare. We condemn that in the strongest terms possible, and we have urged the chairman of this military tribunal that if this is not to be projected as the kangaroo military tribunal it is, then they should restrain members of the UPD from abducting members of our team. That is not the first threat against our members of our team. We have been ignoring some signs of intimidation or directed towards the defense team, and we shall continue to ignore those messages. But we must assert the right of the accused to a fair hearing, to a fair representation, to dignified treatment, to their liberties as guaranteed by the 1995 Ugandan Constitution. And we are not intimidated. We are not bullied. We shall come here in this military barracks surrounded by soldiers and continue to do the work of representing our people. We have also the grievance of being denied where to sit. Most of our lawyers today were not able even to get seats, and we have not even concluded the issue of representation because both the military tribunal is in cahoots with Museveni and the War Council of Uganda, and illegally trying to block the visiting jurists from Kenya from representing Besigye, contrary to his sacrosanct right to choose who represents him as a lawyer, how many lawyers represent him. So we are going to continue fighting these battles on all fronts. There is an all-out legal war against the injustice that has been meted out against our clients, and we shall keep you posted. Thank you very much.
Okay, very briefly,
Oh, sorry.
I want to first salute the Ugandan opposition for the solidarity. Ugandan members of the bar, that is the legal councils, who have teamed up to represent Kizza, Besigye, and Mr. Rutale. That solidarity is needed in the wake of aggression and dictatorial tendencies. Now, you have witnessed for yourself for the longest time when we started this press conference, a military police vehicle standing here with a siren on to obstruct. It has now moved away. You can see it has not gone anywhere. It is now neatly parked. Why couldn't they park to give us silence before? These are the forms of aggression that are happening daily, from obstruction to access. Yes, I was denied the certificate to practice by the Law Council. I am contesting that, not for myself. As my colleagues have said, what we are pushing is the right of Dr. Kizza, Besigye, and Mr. Rutale to have a team of lawyers of their choice and to have a lead counsel of their choice. That is what we shall be pushing, and that is what the Law Council must consider. Not about me, but the right to counsel and counsel of choice. I want to say that beyond counsel of choice, even with the denial of the license, I appeared today as a jurist from Jumuiya to observe the proceedings. And because I remain a lawyer, whether the Law Council approves my license or not, I am at liberty to wear my attire to identify myself as a lawyer. And therefore I came robed. My robes are not a criminal offense. My robes are a result of the training I have had. And nobody can strip me of my robes unless if I commit a criminal offense, which I have not. We are here today joined by a fellow jurist from Kenya. Let him just say his name and one word, and then a jurist from Angola will identify herself.
E Makindye is my name, an advocate of the High Court in Nairobi. I have put in my application to the Law Council to be enjoined into this matter, and we are going to follow it up until it is done. We are going to comply, we are going to appeal, we are going to push until it is granted. There's an issue that I'd like to address. Being in Jumuiya, we are very intertwined. There's something that has started happening in Nairobi, which we never had seen. Masked men abducting people at night, and we have had many killings in Nairobi, having masked men roam around during protests. Now we've realized where the source is, and that's why we are here, to root it out from the source. We have never seen this in Nairobi. We have never seen this since the regime back in Nairobi started. But it's been here, and this is why we are here to root out this ill in society.
Your names again?
Kieme Gisheru. Thank you very much.
Award from my sister from Angola, a human rights jurist from Angola.
Hi everyone. I came here as an observer for this trial, this court session. As you may be aware, trial observation is an instrument to ensure human rights to fair trial and access to justice. So I will not get into the details of the session, but I would also add that my presence is a sign of solidarity, is a sign of there is a need for us as human rights defenders in Africa to join and be together, raise our voices, be creative as well, and stand up against brutality, against authoritarian regimes, and defend the rule of law, which is the basis for guaranteeing human rights. So my presence here is to support all those lawyers, professionals, human rights defenders, but also be before the court and make the court accountable to the principles of the rule of law. Thank you.
Okay, finally, I just want to say to the Law Council, kindly, no double standards. If you could allow the President, Yoweri Museveni, to bring Kaminwa from Kenya, Dr. Kaminwa, my senior, for a civil matter, a criminal matter is more serious than a civil matter. That involves the life and liberty of Dr. Besigye and Mr. Lutale. No double standards. What's good for the goose is also good for the gander. Let them review their decision. We are going to contest it, and we expect that they will not apply double standards.
If you look at
kutya wetambudde era nga babaddewo n'ekyamaanyi newankubadde leero tubadde tusuubira okufuna ebintu bibiri. Ekisooka twakifuna kuba luli baali bawakanya okuba nti obaolyawo Lead Council waabwe teyafuna mukisa gukiikirirwa oba yali tannakiriyalingibwa, naye tugenza okukomawo nga yagaaniddwa oba nga teyaweereddwa lukisa kuba nti Honorable Martha Karua nti yakulembedde bannamateeka ba Kizza Besigye ne Haji Obed Butale, era nga mwetwogera mu kaseera kano nga embeera bweti weeri era nga omusagulo gwongezeddwayo paka nga 7 January wa mwaka ogujja 2025, ekitegeeza nti ajja kubanga balira Christmas emabega w'emitayimbwa eruzira. Naye kino kikijjidde nti oluvannyuma babadde bannamateeka bataddewo nnyo embeera oluli lwabwe nga lwagala musango gende mu maaso, naye nga abawaabirwa nga bakulembeddwamu Honorable Elias Lukwago, Council Aaron Kizza, Katoto Musime n'abalala nga bataddewo embeera nga bagamba nti basobola kugenda mu maaso nga abamu ku bakulembedde bannamateeka oba ekiwayi kyabwe ba defense tebannafuna clearance, bo nga bagamba nti awatali Martha Karua omusango guyinza obutagenda maaso. Twandiraba embiranye era singa Law Council tewa Martha Karua permit oba kukirizibwa twandibanga embere eno egenda paka era nga kale katusuubire nti oba oli awo nakola mu mwaka ogujja nga embere eno teredde era nga mukulu mukyala Martha Karua aweereddwa certificate oba permit naye nga mu mbeera y'emu twegattiddwako bannamateeka abalala omu okuva e Kenya omulala okuva e Angola bano nga bali mu Pan-African mu kiiko oba ekibinja ekitaba bannamateeka lw'omuddugavu Africa naye nga Abakenya bagamba nti bwe kibaleese si ddembe lya Kizza Besigye byokka naye eddembe ly'okuba nti waliwo omuze ogutandise okuva ewaabwe nga abantu abambadde obukookolo bawamba babuzaawo abantu baabwe era nga bagamba nti bano omuze guno gwali teguliye Kenya naye bagize kizuula nga gutandikidde Uganda so nga bagamba kibaleese okuba bazze ku kibondo bwe banvunza bazze kutundula kibondo zokulaba nga oba oli ago n'omuze guwona okuva ku source nje guva e Uganda n'ogenda okuba nti gugenda paka Kenya kale mufunze byebaddeyo mu kkooti era munzikirize tuwunzikire wano tujja kuddamu okuba nga tuwuziganya naye nga nze mukose Arnold Anthony nayina munnange Mukiibi Jeremiah sokulaba nga twatuusaako byonna okuba gye twatandikidde okutuusa wano wetuwunzikira wano ku kkooti y'amagye e Makindye mbere bulungi